Next up at UFC 282, we have the main event of the evening. We have Jan Blachowicz taking on Magomed Ankalaev. Jan Blachowicz, 29-9 overall. Trying to get 2 in a row. Coming off that weird win over Rasik. Taking on Magomed Ankalaev, 18-1 overall. And his only loss was a literal last-second loss to Paul Craig. Literally 1 second left in the fight. Ended up getting submitted in a fight that he was dominating. And this is an interesting fight, but not really. It's actually first of all, we all feel bad for Glover. That was kind of bullshit what happened to him. At the same time, what was the UFC supposed to do? What was the UFC supposed to do? That's the problem. Like, what they should have done.
I mean, what didn't he say? Like, yeah, I'll fight him, but let's move it back or something. It's like, no, you're not gonna move it back. What are you talking about, Glover? Come on.
I think the rumor was, and I don't remember all this. I think he said, "I'll fight Jan," and they said no. And that's actually what
I think they gave him. They just said, "Hey, we're moving on." Obviously, he has the thing. Here's Ankalaev. Do you want the Ankalaev? He said, "Yeah, but I need a few more weeks." And they were like,
"Sure."
Yeah, they're like, "No, I mean, we got the card ready. I mean, what do you mean give him a few weeks?"
The problem with that is the card would have had nothing. Like, there would have been no title fight. There would have been nothing good on the card if they did that. But I thought he said, "Yeah, I'll fight Blachowicz. Let's do that. People want to see that rematch. It was a good fight." And if that was a conversation and they still moved on, then they did him real dirty. That dude has done everything that they could ever ask. He's fought everybody they put in front of him. He won the belt. Like, couldn't be a better guy. People love him. So they did him stupid dirty if he said, "Yeah, I'll stay on this card and I'll fight Jan." And they said no. Anyway, we got Jan versus Ankalaev for the belt. I think this is the best value on the entire card. Jan Blachowicz, Polish power, right? He's got big power in his hands.
Legendary Polish power.
Big power in his hands, and he can absolutely put people out. Former champion, but he won the belt, didn't defend it, lost the belt. He's coming off that win over Rasik, but it was Rasik's knee blew out. People were like, "Oh, well, he checked the leg kicks." I'm not disparaging Jan Blachowicz by any means. But other than big power in his hands, he doesn't have much. We saw him out-wrestle Izzy, but okay. He out-wrestled a 185-pounder that gets taken down. Meanwhile, Magomed Ankalaev is a Dagestani who can wrestle like a beast, but chooses not to because he's such a long, rangy striker that uses that length incredibly well, uses the range really well, and I just don't see how Jan is going to get inside the range to land those big punches. 100%. If Jan lands those punches, he wins this fight. 100%. But I can't see him getting in the range to land the punch. I can't see him winning. Somebody just commented Jan by decision. There's no way he wins a decision. That is literally Jan winning a decision is the least likely outcome for this fight. Ankalaev can win a decision. Ankalaev can win by stoppage. Jan can win by stoppage.
Yeah,
Jan cannot
even
win
the odds are. I mean, the odds are plus 550 for points and plus 500 for KO, TKO. So
it's the same close, short bus dude. And at this point, you must be trolling. I'm never pinning a comment again because holy crap, you're not all there. What do you think, Jake? I think Magomed Ankalaev at minus 255 is literally the best value on this card. He should be a minus 500.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising. I don't know what the odds makers really are thinking in that because I put them in parlays. I put money lines on it as well. I think it is good value. Obviously, I guess they respect the punching power. These are big dudes, and he does hit. But you nailed it, right? There's nobody that keeps range better than Ankalaev. You can't hit the guy. I mean, he is rangy with his kicks. He's rangy with his strikes. He's a good counter striker. As you mentioned, he can go to his wrestling if he wants to. He can win any way he wants. I've been screaming it for a few years now that he will become the champion. I didn't think he was going to be this quickly because I thought there were some other people in the mix. Obviously, stuff happened with Jiri and all that stuff. But this guy's going to become the champion. He's going to become the champion for a long time. And I know he's kind of boring at times, but he's just so technical. And you have to be boring to keep winning fights. If you're this guy that just throws down and brawls all the time, you're eventually going to lose. If you're boring, you could be the champ forever. I mean, look at John Jones. I mean, I'm not saying that he was super boring and he's been in wars before, but there comes to a point where if you want to keep your belt, you just keep the range. You don't get hit. You get out of there. You get your money. You keep the belt, and you fight for another day. And that's exactly who Ankalaev is going to be for the next year, 2, 3, 5 years, because this guy is on. I mean, he's the real deal, man. Real deal. And there's nothing against Jan. We like Jan. He's a super good dude. I mean, if you watch the countdown and stuff, he is hilarious, by the way. He is a funny dude. I like Jan. I'll be rooting for him in this matchup. He's not going to get my money. Nothing on that. I'm not even going to put a sprinkle for being live in this matchup. So I'm Ankalaev all the way.
100. It's literally the best value in the entire card. You're just not going to get better value than this. The odds are crazy. I expected him to be way more dramatic. And you say the odds makers, but at this point, it's not the bookies. It's the people. Yeah, it's the people. The people have decided that Jan's live. And I guess, in the comment section, some people think that, but a lot of these people thought Jack.
I didn't know he was at Extreme Couture either. He's been there for years now. But so he's been a local dude. It's not like he comes back and forth. He's in Vegas. He's at Extreme Couture, and they've got some people there now, man. That's a good camp, especially for somebody like him.
Yeah, listen, I hear you. I like Jan quite a bit. It'd be wild if he won this fight. I hope he wins this fight. Right? I know Glover, known the guy for a very long time.
Someone said you should do your research. Blachowicz has a 3-inch reach advantage. He outstruck Adesanya for 3 rounds, then wrestled him. Those are facts.
Don't listen to these idiots. These people are idiots. They're like, we got then
sell your fucking mom's car. All right, get the title out of the glove box once she goes to sleep, and you can sneak out and get your little fucking snacks, and go sell your mom's car and put on Jan Blachowicz and see what the fuck happens. Look it up. 3-inch reach advantage. You know that means 1.5 inches on each. Reach advantage is your entire wingspan, so that's 1.5 inches. That's your fucking dick size reach advantage for Jan Blachowicz.
Listen, I'm with you, and reach advantage is so stupid. Those are people that just don't know what they're looking at with fights, and then they just look at those random stats that mean nothing. So, anyway. We're both on the Ankalaev side. I think it's the best value in the entire card. You seem to be agreeing with that as well. $9,200 in DraftKings. I'm going to do it. It's 5 rounds, which is why. But he can be low volume and he can be boring, which is the issue. That is the issue. And he is a Dagestani and he can wrestle, but he doesn't always use it, which is part of the problem as well. But he may, we just watched Glover, not just, but a little over a year ago, not that far ago, destroyed Jan. First of all, he dropped Jan. Hey, with the genius with the 3-inch reach advantage, he had a reach advantage over Glover too. How'd that work out? Because it wasn't the wrestling that did it. Glover dropped Jan, and that's what did it. Well, how about that reach advantage? Muppet. Thiago Santos is a 185-pounder, and he knocked out Jan. What was the reach advantage for Thiago Santos? Oh, he didn't have one because he's a 185-pounder. He's shorter. People just say stupid shit. Everybody's a comment section genius. Ankalaev's going to win this fight. I do think he's a parlay piece. I think his money line is still worth it. The DraftKings, I will have him in mind. The one thing that worries me a little bit is...
he didn't drop Jan. What are you talking about? Glover didn't drop Jan. What?
Don't listen to these people. Don't listen. They're just not smart. That's the one thing that worries me, though, is that he's not going to wrestle. And it is going to be a striking match. And he's going to win a striking match, no problem at all, because he managed that range so well. But it's not going to score that well in DraftKings. That's the one thing that worries me in that. But I still think I'll spend the $9,200. You're not? Is that what that head shake was?
Yeah, I'll have to see how the lineup stacks up. I don't think he's like one of those like, oh, you got to put him in your lineup type thing because he's going to dominate. He could dominate, but as we've seen in some of his fights and a lot of his fights, he will just kind of wait. And this could be a lot of just staring. Because Jan knows the counters are coming. He's going to try and feint the counters out. And Magomed's going to be waiting for the power shot. It could be a lot of just staring. And that's not going to score well. So it is 5 rounds, but he's not like a centerpiece for DraftKings, I wouldn't say.
Yep. No, I hear you. The only reason I like him in DraftKings is he's as close to a guaranteed win as you're going to get in a fist fight. I mean, there are fist fights. Anything can happen. And he's about as close as you're going to get here. Monkey Knife Fight strike line, 62-91. I think it's a more. I think it's a kickboxing match. I think it goes quite a bit. Ankalaev can be low volume, so the 91 is a little worrisome, but I think he's going to work in a takedown. I think he'd be foolish not to. I think he can outstrike Jan, no problem, but why wouldn't you work in the takedowns? Because Jan's last loss, he was taken down somewhat easily and then eventually finished. Why would you not go down that path? He does have very big power, and while Ankalaev doesn't necessarily, doesn't need to worry about it, why put yourself in harm's way? And, we mentioned the Paul Craig situation where he was submitted. Jan's not triangle choking Ankalaev off his back. It's not happening.
No.
Do you agree with everything I said? Because I'm very smart at this.
I do. And someone said, "Why are you guys so mad?" Nobody's mad. I don't give a shit.
No,